Hey everybody, it's Peter Grins.
And Major Mayor from the Couch Co-op podcast. I always say broadcast.
You
So
do say you do say broadcast every
yeah,
once in a while, and I'm always like, okay, I don't, sure.
yeah. But I get confused.
And no, it's fine. I was just, it's not a big confusion, so I'm always like, whatever. Okay, it's the broadcast, it's the podcast, whatever.
Yeah, grab broadcast podcast, same thing.
We are broadcasting the podcast over YouTube,
Yeah,
so technically it is both a broadcast and a podcast.
yeah.
So
So I'm not wrong.
no, definitely not. So, as the name suggests, we're going to be talking about our favorite video games, why most people play video games, and what does good game development look like.
Yeah, all that good shit.
Mhm.
So, Peter, what's your favorite game?
My favorite game is Bioshock number 1. And that shouldn't surprise anybody because everybody that watches my streams have probably noticed by now that I have the Bioshock chains tattooed on my wrist.
Nice.
I have
I
the.
didn't know you got a tattoo.
Oh my god! Can we just deviate for a second so I can tell my tattoo
Sure,
story?
sure.
Because that is some funny shit right there. So I went to get my tattoo.
Yeah.
Because I've always wanted a tattoo, and I was like, I'm gonna get a test tattoo because I wanted this big, awesome tattoo on my arm. But I was like, no, hold on. What if I can't stand the pain and I spend all this money and I gotta like run out of the tattoo shop before it's even done? So I got a test tattoo
Right.
on my wrist, and it's both chains on both my wrists. One wrist says a man chooses, the other wrist says a slave obeys.
Yes.
It's fucking awesome. So I'm getting the tattoo, and like I feel fine. Like it's it's whatever. It's all going good. And then the guy looks up at me and he's like, "Dude, are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And then I started feeling the sweat drip down my face. My friend was sitting there with me. She's like, "You were ghost white." And I was like, "No, dude, I was feeling fine. Like, keep going. Like, let's get this done." But they were like, "No, you need a break because you're not doing good." And I'm like, "Oh my god, my body's rejecting my tattoo. Oh no."
How come?
I don't know. It was because they say that like one of the most painful places to get a tattoo is your wrist.
Yeah.
So like I guess like it was just like, when you stick your foot in the when you're taking a shower and you stick your foot in the hot water and it takes a second for it to like hurt.
Yeah.
I think
it takes a second to register.
I think that's what was going on.
Yeah. Your brain blocked the pain enough so like it wouldn't panic.
But my body was like, no, you're gonna die. We're gonna die. And it was so bad. And the tattoo, like, it's really small considering. So like,
Yeah.
so like, to have to take a break on that kind of tattoo, like the guy was making fun of me the whole time.
Dude, hey. I don't have tattoos. I can't at all. Dude, I don't blame them.
No, of course not. Like I took it. Like I was like, oh okay, make fun of me. Like this is pretty embarrassing. Go ahead.
Yeah. My favorite game is between God of War, the new one, like God of War 4, and Kingdom Hearts 3. Now, like, they say that Kingdom Hearts 3 was a disappointment, and I can't see why. It ties a lot of loose ends and like leaves open new ones. like where is the master of masters? As we Kingdom Hearts fans say it, mom.
Mm-hmm.
Where is mom? And in the secret ending, you find out where he is. And in Melody of Memory, which is the musical Switch game, it tells you where he is exactly. So in God of War 4, it's my favorite because it tackles what having a son is like, and I think of my dad and me when I played that game. He taught me how to box, staff techniques, shooting, baseball, everything. So that's my favorite game.
Nice.
But why is it?
Why is my game my favorite game?
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, because Bioshock is like this creepy, ambient, innovative video game where it's got maybe 2 cutscenes in it. The whole story is unintrusively told through audio recordings and audio tapes that you find.
Yeah.
And it's got so much lore and so much depth to it. Not to mention the twist ending.
Yeah.
It's just so deep, and I like consuming media that is not simple.
Yeah.
I like consuming media that's
like a Dog Hack, the Dog Hack series. Dog Hack is a very complex game to get into because there is an anime, the games, magazines, novels, DVDs, you name it, it's there. And Bioshock is really the one entirely intended.
For anybody who doesn't know, Bioshock takes place in the bottom of the ocean in this city made by this crazy rich guy who wanted to escape nuclear holocaust.
Yeah.
Simplified version of the game's telling. That's it. And I mean, the other things I like about it is that the controls are so on point. It plays really well. You would think that a story-driven game like that, they would slack on controls and gunplay and things like that. They don't. They really don't.
Dude, I played Bioshock, the first one, and Infinite, and let me tell you, their controls are tight,
right?
Responsive. Especially for a game that old.
Exactly. I mean, you could make an argument about the graphics. The graphics aren't super great. The game was made in 08, 09? I'll even Google that. I will literally Google that to defend my point.
Yeah. But we got to touch upon why people play games, and for my case, it was
Hold on really quick. 07. This game came out in 07. Yes. So if you have something to say about the graphics, you can fight me.
I wouldn't recommend it because he's tall. He's got a lot of reach. So
But moving on to our next point.
Yeah.
Why most people play games and
Yeah.
kind of the psychology of why people play games.
Yeah. In my case, it was an escape from school and like being compared to my sister live.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was something I can do well that my sister couldn't, and like when you're in games, you play them to feel satisfaction, right? Like in God of War, your actions, like good or bad, matter. Usually, it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
And people mostly play for a number of things. Old people for therapy. I read PTSD patients wear VR headset to as a kind of therapy.
Oh man, they put them through immersion therapy like that?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
and yeah, and it helps.
Okay.
It helps them like consider like what's real and what isn't.
It helps them like draw the line.
Yes.
I got you.
And you can make the argument that video games instigate violence, but it's the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, when I'm feeling stressed, this was years ago. I was feeling stressed because like my mom, you know how mothers are, and
True.
hits me off. So I go to my room, hop in God of War 3,
And stab Zeus in the eye. Just
Yeah.
repeatedly.
I let off steam by playing, by killing like gods the most savage way possible,
Mm-hmm.
and that helps. Like guys are constantly stressed, but we don't show it, and when we do, it's an inanimate object like a pillow, a wall, or drywall, tile.
There's definitely an argument to be made for like video games being a coping mechanism for like poor male like mental health practices, for sure. But I was also reading. I was watching a video because Crash Course makes a really great series on gaming, and they did an episode on the psychology of gaming. I'm going to try to remember to link that video down below so other people can watch it. But I remember one of the things they said was it fulfills a need in the theory of Maslow's hierarchy of needs to like video games make you feel like fulfillment.
Yes.
Because of what you were saying, like you get to do these things that you wouldn't be able to do in real life, and like you get to like feel accomplished, because a lot of video games like they praise the hell out of you.
Yeah.
And that fills a psychological need within us to like feel fulfillment and feel like get that praise and get that not vindication, validation.
Yeah. Why do you think most people play MMOs? Because there is a sense of community. What you do matters to this overarching story, and like just fun. Like that's it. Like the main principle of like online games, not shooters like Call of Duty what like games like WoW,
Mhm.
Final Fantasy 14, and like Fantasy Star are there to help you link with new people, people who have similar goals in mind, and basically just to enjoy doing, uh, playing that game.
I think there is also something to be said that video games do foster a sense of community, especially in the MMO scene. Like, I gotta agree with that because, like, for the few times I've played MMOs, now, disclaimer: MMOs not my thing. I try them every once in a while. I play them for a while, and then I fall off the bandwagon a lot.
It's my jurisdiction.
But from what I see, like every time I communicate with someone in an MMO, like there is a sense of like camaraderie and there's a sense of like community, and it's like we're all in this together. Sometimes, because there's like I've played.
There is bad apples everywhere.
Oh, of course. Like there's times where I've played Warframe. Warframe kind of counts as an MMO, right?
Yeah.
Can we get an official ruling on that?
It's a looter shooter MMO.
Okay, cool. So it fulfills the classification. It's an MMO, and I have played that game to get people like to yell at me, and you know they're like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, I'm confused. This is an MMO. We're supposed to be like community.
Yeah.
But you know, like my good friend and colleague Andy was just saying, sometimes, you know, you got a bad apple that just ruins something for you.
Yeah.
It happens.
Of course.
But on average, like for the most part, MMOs and a lot of video games, whatchamacallit? What was I gonna say? I just totally lost my train of thought. They foster a sense of community and like belonging, and like we're all here, we all have a common interest, we all have a common goal.
Yeah.
But there's also like a couple other needs that video games fulfill. For instance, the competition.
Right.
Now we're moving back to games like Call of Duty, Battlefield, Titanfall, because I love Titanfall. Overwatch. What's another one? There's so many games. You want to pit yourself against someone else and prove your skills and your dominance and your like proficiency.
Yes.
Like you
against others.
Mm-hmm. And that fulfills like this need, this innate need within us to compete.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, we're animals. Just like everything else on this earth. We're an animal. And like animals have this need to like compete with each other, and like because it activates something in your brain that makes you feel like you have now secured more like stability and like something in you. You've just secured something.
I play a lot of fighting games like now, and I watched all these pro players play, and like they're having fun equally. Like there are villains versus like heroes, air quotes.
Mm-hmm.
There is this really infamous Marvel vs. Capcom 3 player.
Mm-hmm.
And like a newcomer was against him in a tournament, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he is really infamous for shit.
Mm-hmm.
So he got the first set. The first set. The second set, he got 1 win, and round 2, the opponent won. So he was cocky,
Mm-hmm.
but that cockiness proved his downfall. But I see like these successful fighting game players go to tournaments, win money, prizes, whatever, for like nothing more than bragging rights and a ton of money. Like, that feels good.
Hey man,
Yeah.
if I was good enough at video games to like be able to win a ton of money, like I would be content. My hierarchy of needs would be fulfilled. Like I'd
Yes.
be good, you know.
Personally, if I was good at Guilty Gear, which is a fighting game that I feel good at,
Mm-hmm.
and went around to tournaments winning,
Mm-hmm.
dude, I have no job but that.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. But
But it falls into like a philosophy that I have about gaming, where there's always going to be a 12-year-old that is so much better than you at that video
Yeah.
game.
yeah.
It doesn't matter how good you are. There's always going to be a 12-year-old that has no job, doesn't do his homework, doesn't do anything. His mommy doesn't pay attention to him. She just plops him down in front of the game and he plays for hours, and he is going to kick your ass.
That's usually how it is. Like, I saw this 4-year-old killing it in Call of Duty Warzone. His dad is his partner, and he dies, and the kid kills the entire enemy team and revives his dad.
Hmm.
At 4 years old, that boy has talent. I got no comment.
You know, it's like there's always going to be somebody who sacrifices everything in their life to be good at the video game that you think you're good at. And like
Yeah.
for the normal people like you and me, you know, we have commitments, we have things that we're doing. You know, we don't have time to put all that effort into a video game. So it's like I don't go competing in video games because I just don't have like 8 hours of the day to put into a game to master it and be super good at it.
Yeah. I see.
So my philosophy
I feel
is
that.
Mhm. My philosophy is always there's always going to be a 12-year-old that's going to kick your ass at video games.
Yeah.
And they're going to always have slept with your mom.
12-year-old or younger.
I was there in the Halo 3 days.
Yes.
You have no idea how many people on the internet have claimed to have slept with my mom. You know, and it's always the squeakiest, tiniest little voice, like, I fucked your mom. And I'm like, ooh, what? Okay.
Sad.
Okay.
Sad boy hours.
Gotta put a big old sign on the podcast now. Sad boy hours.
So let's talk about like. Okay, you saw Dante for the first time. Never played a DMC game ever. So
I have
like,
never touched a Devil May Cry game in my
Yeah.
life. But I have it listed here on the notes. We watched together a behind the scenes video of the development for Devil May Cry. Was it 3?
yes.
It was 3. And oh my god. Oh my god. Was it the funniest, most ridiculous, innovative, masterful technique I've ever seen. So they did something that you called like live storyboarding.
Yes.
So they take the scene from the video game that they're planning, and they have the voice actors and a couple stunt doubles and I guess interns like stand in and like act out the scene.
Yes.
And I was like, what? That's ridiculous. That doesn't work. You know, I was like, these guys are just being silly. But then I look at the reviews for Devil May Cry and I look at the actual game and I'm like, this game is a freaking masterpiece. So obviously they're doing something right over there.
Yeah. And Ruben Langdon, the voice for Dante, is dude. He dyed his hair white and dressed up with Dante, like his equipment, and did the scene.
He's got the clothes. He's got the open chest, like red shirt going on. Like he did it. And the kind of dedication that takes, you know, it really shows in the end product.
Yeah, and like you thought he was funny but badass, and like the moves were all wacky in the sense, but like it worked because DMC it has its serious style story, but funny characters who say funny stuff, like Nero. Virgil is the serious one.
Yeah, Virgil's kind of serious.
Yeah, Dante is like the robust, open, like he says anything what's on his mind, and Nero is a mixture of both, and but he's more like Dante.
So here's my interpretation of the characters, having never played a game but watching clips of the games. Dante is an edgelord. Dante is a super fucking edgelord. He just goes in, he says the most fucked up thing he can, and he's like kind of an asshole.
I agree.
Like he's just, I don't know how to explain it. Virgil's like a tryhard. Virgil is like Ansem from Kingdom Hearts, but like a little bit worse. Because Ansem takes himself seriously.
Yeah.
I don't think Virgil takes himself seriously at all. I think Virgil like listens to himself talk later that day and he's like, wow, I am such a self-righteous douchebag.
Oh god.
And then Nero is like, I want to be the very best, like Dante never was. You know, like he's just like, I'm gonna be like Uncle Dante, you know, I'm gonna be cool, but he's more like grounded.
Yeah.
He's you know, he's like more realistic. He's not like this fantasy persona that Dante is. Dante's just like this badass in the movie that every like 12-year-old, when they watch like Demolition Man or something, they're like, whoa, I want to be him. He's so cool.
Oh god. But that was a laugh.
That's my like overview interpretation of DMC characters.
Yeah, and I show them Dante dancing from all 5 games, starting with Devil May Cry. PS5 Dante Jackson.
So, again, like, Dante is not a real character. Dante is not a believable character at all. He is this male power fantasy type of character that he just comes out and he like waves his dick around and that's all he does. That's the vibe I get from him. Like, he just helicopters his dick for like 8 hours. That's the whole game.
Dude, he is the Chad of the series.
He's such a Chad. Yes. He is such a fucking Chad.
But it works. It works.
Apparently it works because Devil May Cry is doing quite well.
Yeah.
So,
and with
you know what?
The Devil May Cry Special Edition for PS5, like it added like many enemies at once could be on screen, like a horde of enemies, and like you can take them all out. It might prove challenging, but you can do that. So, fuck.
Just Devil May Cry is doing fine. My criticisms of it, which are not even criticisms, it's kind of like praise, but like,
yeah.
Like, I don't get me wrong, I'm praising this game very much so, but I'm being realistic in my praise, and I'm telling you, like, this is what somebody nowadays is gonna think of this game.
Yeah.
This is what your first year psych major, who civil rights, social justice person, is gonna tell you about Devil May Cry.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think it's great.
Like, I'm not sure if they tried to cancel DMC5.
I'm sure someone tried.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I have no information to back this claim up, but knowing the human race like I do, I wholeheartedly believe that somebody tried to cancel this game.
They tried and failed.
They definitely failed, because this came out, won so many awards, and just cleaned up house.
So, how long has it been? Like,
time-wise?
Yeah.
Oh, we're over time.
Oh shit.
We're a couple minutes over time, but that's okay. Anything else you want to add on to this episode before we head out?
Not really. Peter, please, one day, we'll play DMC.
For sure. I'm so down. Like, I'm totally for it. But to wrap up this episode, Bioshock is my favorite game. Andy likes God of War 4. Kingdom Hearts 3 was a disappointment. We play video games to fulfill our needs. Devil May Cry 3 behind the scenes is great. You should check it out. I'm going to include some clips. And always remember, kids, that Kingdom Hearts 3 was a disappointment. No matter where you came from, no matter what your creed or religion or...
It wasn't a disappointment. Yes, I got disappointed that my boy Sora was about to get with Kyrie and did it. I'm mad about that. Like, it pissed me off when I completed the game in like 30 hours. When I beat the game and I look at Kyrie and Sora on the power-proof fruit tree, and like he just disappears, I was mad. Like, how you gonna do him like that? What the fuck?
So what I'm hearing is you were disappointed
Yes, but
because it's a disappointment.
no. The gameplay is great.
The gameplay was great. I'm just busting his balls. The
Fuck
game
it.
was good. The game was not bad. I enjoyed it.
And like, I'll show you more after we end. So this has been the Couch Co-op broadcast.
There we go. I was gonna say the exact same thing. I was like,
Yeah.
the Couch Co-op broadcast podcast.
Yeah. Anyways, see you soon.
Have a good one, guys.